I think that leads us into a next question, which is about how do you motivate your techs, or how do you incentivize or motivate them to do that? Because those folks in the field, you're not with them all the time. How do you do it?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that is a challenge. And so there are two things that I'll, I'll bring up right on the start of this conversation because I know that we might not be similar to other companies or operations, but we do not do commission. We're not a commission-based company, and so we pay our techs per hour, and then we deliver services as they need. So the chances that you get a sell that is not needed just to close the deal so someone gets commission is significantly reduced. So that's one consideration to this question. The other one is we are a slow growth company. We do not hire technicians and put them in the truck the next day. They are with us and shadowing someone at least a year before they are on their own. We're able to align them with our culture and how we do business better when we have time with them. So that's one thing I think that sets us apart when it comes to training technicians and getting them the correct motivation. But more to dive more specifically, unless you got something to say about that.
Sounds good.
Okay, great. I want to make sure I'm not like driving the whole conversation here, but it's really balancing and also what's the word, compromising with the technicians. I would love for them to do it on every single call, but I have gotten pushback significantly on that. So at that point, it's, trying to find a happy medium. So it's a challenge.
What's their pushback? What's the common theme that you hear from them?
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk through the scenario, and that kind of gives you their reply to me when I'm saying you should do these on every call. Well, when they get there first, you got to interact with the customer. You just don't walk in and plug the thing and then start talking. Usually it's a, hey, how are you doing? These are customers that we see twice a year. So there's conversation of the kid and baseball, and it's a very warm conversation generally. And then you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start checking your unit. So right now we're 15 minutes in, maybe further, I don't know. But they plug it in, find a place for it, and then they start doing their AC check or heater check. Once they're done with that check, takes them about 30 minutes. We're at about 45 minutes into the call. If they should have the report by then, because we're at about 45 minutes. And so now they're building the estimate, the renewal estimate, or issue the renewal, sorry, any repairs that need to be addressed, and then it's review the report as well as review the recommendations that come out of the report as well as the recommendations for the repair. And if we're targeting an hour per service check, we've got 15 minutes to review renewal, review recommended repairs, review the IEQ report, and review the repairs or estimates from the IEQ report. And so as you can see, it gets stacked up. And we want to not overwhelm the customer. But if that answers your question.
It does.
Yeah.
What if you, just an idea.
Yeah.
What if you did all those things the same? You don't have to talk about air quality testing up front. 15 minutes at the end is about recommendations. Include the recommendations based on the data. You don't even have to share the report. That's secondary. The most important thing is that customer gets a chance to see what's going on and you get a chance to fix it. But if the customer is interested or the technician wants to share why they are bringing up the dehumidifier, they can share the report and say, would you like to see this? Are you interested in this data? Great. Otherwise, skip the presentation. And then you haven't added anything but maybe 1 minute to plug in.
Right.
And a minute to look at the report. we certainly appreciate that there is a lot of information techs have to deal with.
Right.
And it looks like you're doing a surgical approach versus volume, but I think you could make a compromise there and still give them the recommendations. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about fixing problems, and
sure,
that's what techs do. They fix stuff all day long.
That's right. That's what they're passionate about. They don't want to sell stuff. They want to fix things.
Right.
And that's a valid point. And after talking with you last week, Jeff, I talked with the guys and I said, hey, I want to get you guys back into some air advice training. And that way we can go through these tactics, procedures, and get them fired up. And so that would probably be helpful, because I think it almost becomes monotonous. You do these and you're like, this again, I've done this. And so you just need like a little refresher, a little
sure,
something to get you charged up. Because even my best IEQ seller, which is my youngest brother, he is very similar in it's just so much to do during a service check. And they have a helper, but it's just so much. And yeah, being able to just plug it in no matter what. And then if you get to it, great. If you don't, you've got the data. And I definitely take your recommendation on trying to implement this further and compromising even further with the technicians. I think creates a better outcome and more sales at the end of the day.